Hi everyone, I'm Sally Duran. I apologize for the clothes. I'm getting ready to go to work. I work at the CrossFit gym, so I'm not looking quite professional today. But anyway, I wanted to do a programming technique with you today called ArtBots. You can do ArtBots passive or an active programming. Either would be fine. I think it would be great to do it after a story time with a book about robots. But in this case, I'm just going to show you how to make the ArtBots and talk about how this is a STEAM project. It includes science and art, so it's kind of fun for kids. Children of all ages could do it. I had my 4-year-old and my 6-year-old do it the other day, and of course, you know, the 6-year-olds looks a little better than the 4-year-olds, but it's still fun. They both enjoyed it and had a great time. So everything that you need for ArtBots you can get from the dollar store. I will say, before we get started, I used the pool noodles from the dollar store, and I think they're a little heavier than most noodles. So I would probably, if I was going to do this again, use just a styrofoam cup, because these ArtBots, unfortunately, are a little heavy for what they're supposed to do. So I think a styrofoam cup would work better. So anyway, what you need, an electric toothbrush. They sell these at the dollar store. Of course, that means they're not all perfect. A couple of them weren't great. I bought 12 and I think I had 2 that didn't work, so you may want to buy some extras. But you put the battery in, it comes with a battery. You're going to measure it up against your pool noodle. You want it to be just about the same height. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I think it would be great to pre-cut these so that kids weren't having to cut, you know, noodles at the tables. So that's what I did with my children. I pre-cut them. You can just use a regular pair of scissors. Once you get it cut, you're going to stick your toothbrush into the noodle hole. Oh, I'm turning it on. They're a little tight. If you were going to use a styrofoam cup, you would have to glue it in or tape it in, but I think that would be fine. So I like to put the buttons on the bottom because then you can do these fun things with their hair. If you put it at the top, you could do the little palms around and it's a little easier access, but I think it's cooler on the bottom. So now you have your basic ArtBot. From here, your kids can decorate however they want. I got little palms, some googly eyeballs, and pipe cleaners. So I'm going to do his little arms. And another thing I would suggest, this glue from the dollar store, maybe not the best. I think Elmer's glue might be better, or ideally a hot glue gun, but I know that's difficult when you're talking about working with kids. So if they had parent guidance or if you were there to help glue things on, you might use that. Of course, it makes it a little less fun for them because they're not doing it themselves, so it's a little hit or miss, but this glue does work. It just takes it longer to set, and I found if we tried to turn our ArtBots on too soon, eyeballs started falling off, and it was a disaster for my 4-year-old, so just a warning. Alright, so I'm going to pick out his little eyeballs. I got colored ones, but you could use whatever, of course. And there's all kinds of things you could do with them. When I was looking up this idea, there were people who made clothes for them, which is real fancy. People made little skirts for them, little grass tree skirts. I forgot to take the glue, this top out of the glue. Sorry, my husband's pager is going off. Okay. Now this glue's a pain in the butt. There we go. I'm going to glue his little eyeballs on. But really, the options are endless. I just happened to grab what I found in the dollar store, and they had a little crafts area with all kinds of stuff. You could do glitter, you could do glitter paint, you could do really whatever you want. So working depending on budget. Total, I spent less than $20, and I got enough to make 12. I did that because I'm going to take them to my son's preschool class and let them do it, which should be fun. Okay, so now that his eyes are on, let's see. We can do his little mouth. I found that the pipe cleaners are a little more difficult to get to stay on with glue. My 4-year-old just markered a mouth, which was easier. But like I said, I may not have purchased the best glue. Sorry, my dog is running upstairs, I'm sure, to use the bathroom. That's awesome. Okay. Now we can do a little palm nose. Oh, mouth fell off. That's what I'm talking about with the glue having a hard time setting. You have to be kind of patient with it. Okay, now I'm going to put together his hair. So I like this little fun hairdo that I did. And the way you do that is just cut the pipe cleaner into thirds or fourths. Take them up, take the bottom, and then just fluff. I have a pre-made one over here that I'll just use so I don't have to get out my tape again. But you can shove that down in there so he has a little hairdo. Okay, so your ArtBot is decorated. From here, you can take 3 or 4 markers or pens. I used markers because I thought it was fun that the kids could pick out their own colors. This big pack of markers is only $1. He'll have to have all different colored legs, but I don't think it matters. So, as far as his mouth's just not gonna work for me today. So as far as length goes, I just set the marker up so that made sure that there was room for the cap. That way you can get the cap on and off, and your ArtBot does not get destroyed because the markers die. Now, one thing that you could do, which I think would probably be easier, I just didn't think about it beforehand until I was working on this project, but rubber bands would be a great idea to keep their legs on, because when these markers die, and they will do that eventually, you can just trade them out really easily. Not that tape is super difficult to change out, but it's a little more annoying. The kids are probably going to need help with this part. It's kind of frustrating, but I'm going to set your marker on it and just tape his legs on. You want to make sure they're as even as possible, or when he starts going, he'll fall over. So I'll grab my other one. Now, I'll have the handouts posted on Blackboard that'll show step by step, and they're so simple. So if you decided to do this as a passive program, it's really easy for parents or kids to follow the handouts. Okay, so our ArtBot is done, of course, minus his mouth, because it's just not interested, and his nose, poor guy, not interested in staying on. So now what you do, set out big rolls of paper. I used coloring books at home, but like I said, my ArtBots are a little too heavy, so they're not working great. But you will turn your ArtBot on the bottom. At that point, he'll dance around. So you can put him on the paper, and he will draw for you. You do little circles. You might get a little stuck, need a little help. But anyway, there's the ArtBots. Like I mentioned, make sure he dries or you'll have another mouth tragedy. But it's easy, it's fun, it's cheap, and could be incorporated passively or actively with a story time. You could even use them as puppets if you're super creative like that. Use them to act out a story. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it gave you a good idea to use, and I look forward to seeing all of yours. Wish I could be there for the on-site. Hope y'all are having a great time.